Hello everyone, this is Hatch from TWPI and we're going to be playing FTB Interactions today. Now currently the server is hosted locally. I will be opening it up, but for now we're going to get started. Now I've already kind of cleared things out for the spawn island. I'll probably expand this later, but for now let's create a team and get started. Create a team. Anti-social. Go into settings and we are going to put in the standard anti-social off my lawn. Alrighty, now that we got that set up, let's create our island and get started. So what I plan on doing with this series is I'm basically going to be doing the mining and stuff on a stream, and then as far as everything else, like when I build big technological contraptions, I'll probably put all of that into episodes, but mining or mass building I'm going to do probably on a live stream and then turn around and just show that off when we do an episode. I'm going to do them separately, that way we don't end up with like 2-3 hour long episodes, since this is the first stream for TWPI. So basically this is a mod pack. It's been around for a little bit. It's a Gregtech based mod pack, and it's all about the interactions of different mods. And that's essentially how you progress. So first things first is we need to throw the Tome of Knowledge into the transmutation table. That will give us access to all the various things for EMC. And in the Void Island part, basically, this is how we get our cobble and such. So we're going to get this done. And it is getting dark despite the light, so that is something I may need to look into. Because those light sources are supposed to light up the island. I guess it's sort of light. It's not like completely pitch black, so that's something. So essentially, we start out doing the basics. And chopping down a tree. Now there is a quest book. The quest book is very, very detailed. I definitely recommend using it and following it. The first 2 things are just going to be basically informational. So, hey, listen. If you see one of these, it means that it contains information that cannot be found in JEI. And they have those all throughout the quest book. Full transparency, they start off in the Void World because testers kept dying in the Overworld. Take your time, get to know JEI in the quest book. Do not rush the pack. Or they say rush at your own risk. The reason being they say that is, this is not my first time in specs. I want to explain some of this. As you progress throughout the pack and go up in technology tiers, mob difficulty increases. So now in the Void World, mobs don't spawn. And they will never spawn in the Void World unless you summon them in. That is actually one of the quests for later. But as of right now, they do not spawn in. They will never spawn in. And this is basically your safety net. This is your safe space. And you can draw a little circle on the ground. This is your happy fun zone. Okay. Now some people prefer to do all of their building in here. I'm actually going to build in the overworld once we get there, because I apparently hate myself. But yeah, so we'll get to that point when we get to it. For right now, we're just going to follow the quest book, and move forward. README, put this in the transmutation. Congratulations. There we go. All right, so that's in the transmutation. This is your backup book in case you drop it off into nowhere. Twerk to grow the tree. And this we already know. But let's look at some of these. Never gonna give you up. We got rickrolled right off the beginning. So if you're playing on a team, make sure to sync your stages together with the following commands. So you can join other people in a team. I may or may not do this later. We'll see. We have a few people that may join. We may have Ryan P 1991 join us, or we may have Earth Games join us. We'll see. Several fellow members of the TWPI community at any point in time. But for right now, we have these commands here, and this is just a quick overview of the commands. This is letting you know basically to set your keybinds and where it's currently keybind. They're saying it's keybound to, or they recommend doing number pad 1. And I'm actually going to do that right now because that is actually very important because you will go through that like crazy. Building gadgets. Open quest. Good. All right, so that's done. Natural spawns, that's what I was already telling you. Natural spawns do not happen in the void. That's to keep, basically to keep you from getting murdered. The chisel, you can actually turn around and chisel books to get different books. So, like, you can chisel the quest book, you can chisel pretty much any book you get into different books. That's how you get the books in this mod pack. So you don't have to worry about it. Ore excavation is in there. It's meant for non-resource gathering, so you can shear leaves and such, or gather up like an Astro Temple, or mow a lawn. But ore veins and logs are not allowed. And that's so that the hammers, drills, lumber axes, etc. wouldn't be useless. The problem is they're technically already useless because the FTB axe, the Gregtech axe, is actually broken in this version. This is letting you know that FTB Quest has JEI integration. What that means is if you needed to build something, you could literally just click on it and see all recipes from the quest book. Shift twice while in the question to open a searchable list of quests. Okay, that's cool. That's actually something I didn't know. We completed this already. So the coagulated plant ball. This right here is going to be one of the most useful items in the pack. The reason being is this plant ball duplicates any flower. It's used in other things, but the big thing is because it duplicates any flower, it basically allows you to duplicate things like shimmer leaves and the lotus flower and such. If you can plant it on grass, it can be duped. This is going to be something I will use a lot of, and you can basically use anything. You can use flowers, you can use saplings, you can use pretty much anything to make it. So this is going to be the first thing we're going to go for. We need 7 flint, and we need to make a bunch of flint tools. Because we're not going to be able to do anything else until we get that. So I'm going to throw all the sticks in there. Can I even make a workbench? No. Nope, because you can't make logs without an axe. Alright. the fun part begins. Squatting over and over and over again. Well, if you ever needed signs that Minecraft hates me. Has no axe. First tree grown is super tree. And I apologize for my voice right now. It is really shot. I've been sick for the last few days. It is not what's been going around. We're not going to mention that. I just have really, really bad allergies in the spring. And unfortunately, I had to go outside. We're just going to build ourselves up. Now, as we're going through this, I'm going to show off basically a few ways of how I do things, because I can actually get through the overworld section of this very, very quickly. And a lot of people have wondered like how it is I go through it so quickly. And the thing is you can automate pretty much every part of the very first section. All of it is automatable. So we're gonna go over that and kind of step by step show you how I go about doing that. But normally I don't get super trees like right off the bat that eats up all of my time. So that's fun. Alright. Is that the last log? Is that all of them? Question mark? I do believe that is all of them. Sweet. Now we just drop down and wait. No, my apple! Alright. Didn't need that sapling anyway. Yup. Fun times. Alright, so while I'm at it, grab these sticks. Throw the sticks in here. I want to keep one sapling. We'll throw the other saplings in here. Gravel. So it's 3 gravel. So you need 7 flint. Alright. Alright. Now normally I would just grab 21 gravel and just craft it. I may still end up doing that. Yeah. So I got 12, so 9 more. Alright. Alright, so the big thing about this is basically you still have this recipe for flint, so there's that. And we need to make a flint axe, a flint pickaxe. And is it this side? And a flint shovel. And you can use normal sticks for this, that's fine. I think you can anyway. Is it not letting me? Does it require cobble? It may require the cobble. Yeah, it's going to force that. Alright. Well, we will comply. All the different colors of cobble that we get. We have hit the Stone Age. Not really. Flint. X. Now, that gives you the first few things. Now, there is some shortcuts we're going to do in this. We're going to follow the quest book, but only to a certain point. And the reason being is there are better ways of doing things. So this gives us some food. Great. Yay. We're going to stick our food in here. Now, to get wood, you can't just throw it in your crafting thing as you saw, because I tried that and it was horrible. You basically have to take your axe, do it once to get the bark off, and a second time to get the wood plank. So we're going to do this a few times. And that basically gives us enough planks to get our wood bench. Now, the one thing I'm going to be looking for, there's two things here we're going to need. The first one is the artisan's workbench. The second one is the saw. The water saw, this thing. And the reason I'm pointing that out is, yes, the saw is like way down here on the list of things, okay? But you can get the saw done really early, because if you take a look at this, they expect you to get both the saw and the clay mill and the water thing done before you even do this. And going through this route, yeah, it's nice and all, but it takes a long time to do things. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back over here, take one of these, throw all that in there, throw this in here, and we're going to grab I'm going to say about 24 gravel. I'm going to turn all of this into flint shears. And the reason being is because leaves equal EMC. And that is a big deal. And you can vein mine the leaves. You can't vein mine the trees, but you can vein mine the leaves. You can vein mine the leaves. You can vein mine decorative stone. You cannot vein mine actual stone, but you can vein mine decorative stone. So, like the basalt, for example, which is something that we will run into. Just go ahead and get this done. And part of the reason I don't worry about getting saplings after I got the first bunch of leaves is simply because I can just grab them out of here. Now, vein mining does, of course, drain your hunger like crazy. The same with chopping wood. The chopping wood kills your hunger. But with that, we should have enough wood. So now what we need is to get this going. And I believe, actually, we have a quest gives us that. I believe it's right here. Yep. So this gives us the block. So now we just need 4 flint. So that'll be 12. So, make ourselves a workbench. I'll turn on the craft. And then set it right there for now. Got the saw blade. So I'm missing sticks and plates. Just like that, we have the water-powered sawmill. Now, as it states, this is the water-powered sawmill. It will require flowing water, and we're just going to temporarily set it over there where we're supposed to be planting the farm. Now, to get wire, you basically take a block of ice. We're going to take some cobble as well, because we're going to need to make some cobble slabs. So, do I need the artisan's workbench for that? I think so. You know what? And there we go. So we're not going to even bother doing this. I'm just going to pick all these up. Just like that. You get 4 instead of 1. Now, if we were to do this in the saw bench, I think it still gives 4, but it uses a lot more materials because it uses the saw to cut it. And the saw, it just eats through durability like crazy to make this, so it's really, really not worth it. So we're going to make ourselves a bunch of logs, set up some chests, and then continue building. We're going to build ourselves a small little platform and get some strainers going here in a little bit. But this is essentially how I speed through this so quickly, is I completely skip a lot of the steps. And just immediately, I powerhouse straight to this. because I'm not wasting food, I'm not wasting wood. It's just an immediate bam, here we are. This should be enough, I think. Yeah, I don't know why these ones aren't really, like this one works, and these ones are like herp-a-derp. Not quite sure. Alright, so we need to make a crafting bench to be able to even do this. Now, initially, you'll start out with one. By the time it gets to endgame, you're going to actually have several of these, because you'll have to craft different things with this. So, but for right now, we'll start with just the one. I'm going to set it like probably right there. And then we are going to look into a chest. Now, if I remember right, a chest requires a tool. Yeah, it requires the saw. Alright. And they want me to make the hammer, but I need to make the saw too. So the hammer they're wanting me to make is basically this. It is the Primal Tech Mallet. Now, once you do that, it's going to give you actually some important things. This right here, the toolbox, is probably the most important of the items it gives you. The reason being is you can have it in the middle here, and you can just have your tools right there, and you'd be able to grab them from this. Now I'm going to need a little cup. Can you break into that? You don't. Flint. I can spell. How do I break you apart? Stone and ball. Not making that anytime soon. Let's go through a couple of these saws. Alright, oh, it is 3 step balance, isn't it? Well, the one we'll have to do. I know I'm going to need 2 of these, but I'm going to go through a lot more of these here soon. But initially, it'll be the 2. So that we can put certain things away. Saving you, saving you. Saving you for later, saving you. Don't need you on me. Alright. So. And we get a free upgrade. Because that's how they roll. Now this will be important later. We need to save that upgrade. Alright, let's see here. I need to get to the strainer, but Alright, so we got that, we got that. They want us to build the strainer. They want us to build 3. We're actually going to build 6. So we're going to need 3 chests and 2 whoppers. Or 3, yeah. Yeah, I can speak! 6 chests. And we're going to need 12 whoppers. Now, given the fact that the Gregtech tools don't work on this, the only other way to chop down trees is going to be the Tinker's Lumber Axe. You won't get that until much later. So we're basically gonna, as soon as we get to Overworld, we're gonna automate the farms as quickly as possible to deal with a few things. We're gonna have it go into some barrels, and that's how we're gonna handle that from there. I could save time by using the axe, but it has limited durability, and I really don't want to waste resources making them. Because this is basically, this and crafting these are going to be the only times I really use the axe. Other than for a weapon. More wood. Alright, did I leave all this in here? I did. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 6. What I may end up doing is I did have kind of a hacky way to automate this using various like chiseled blocks, and that's what I may end up doing. Is build a little contraption. I just wasn't going to do that right here. You can tell it is a Minecraft server in the USA because it perpetually rains. Did they leave this thinner? Oh, they did. So I need 12. So we're going to be going through 12 of those. I need an additional, I need 60 wood to be able to finish that part of it. This is the most boring part of the recording. Alright. Alright, and we need one more of these. Actually, you know what? We're gonna need 6 more of those. Time to get this working. Alright. When you guys see this video, let me know what you think. Like, should we add in certain mods, like the one that adds the derpy noises for the music? Maybe we should completely change the Minecraft music to be the derpy versions. Do, 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 do. Alright. Take a few sticks. Build. Alright, so builders one is the only one. Or at least that's gonna be simple to make. We'll get to that. For right now, I'm gonna be doing something very, very, very important. You guys may not notice this, but there is some slates under there. And the reason being is we're going to be using this terracotta. One of the first things I always do is I build completely around this particular part of the island with stone, because we're going to need terracotta to make some of the potions later. Specifically, it will be used to make the cyclic alchemical setup. And if you box it in like this, when you mine it, it'll just stay in that little box. The other thing is that there is bedrock underneath there, and we'll be using that to make the alchemical array powder here in a little bit. And then this one I'm just gonna fill in like this. I'm not gonna bother with the setup over there, because one, they didn't fill it in, so you can't really do it. And then two, I mean, why? So we will go through all of that stone here shortly. Yes. Twerking for wood. This is fun. We'll just let the rest of this drop down and turn into saplings for us. Alright, note to self, I need to set up a room where you can't hear the dog in the background. Because he will indeed randomly start barking. Oh yes, that would be Rook. Something squeaked or squawked or moved, and he went into guard dog mode. But hey, that simply means that he's doing his job. Alright. No, it's not it. What is this thing called? Strainer. Oh, you want me to build it in there? Well, isn't that nifty? And I need fences. 2 per, 2 times 6, 12. So 4 of those. More wood. I feel like I should set up a jukebox with Money for Nothing playing on it as I'm twerking for the tree. You can sprint around the tree too, but it's not really. There it goes. Yeah, I don't get down the way. Alright, so just a handful more. hopefully. Need another hammer. Alright, let's see what else we need to do here. So we got the strainers, and now it wants us to make these. So basically how we make these is we get grass and we use the shears on it. Fortunately, we have plenty of EMC. Let's see here. I'm gonna want. What do you use for? You're used for seeds. You're used for clay, and you are used for fish. So I'm gonna want one of these, 4 of these, and 1 of those. All right. Alright. So 2 of those. 4 of those. I'll stick the other 20 in here because we will use it. So there is that one. We need more sticks. Gives us the 4 of those. And you required that, which we will get from the one thing. So now it is time to expand. Now let's see here. So I need to progress to that. Alright. Looks like we are expanding our platform. And hoping to God that we don't die. Now, one thing I will say is that if you do fall into the void and die, it does leave a grave, and you can actually get to it via a thing called liquid dirt that you will eventually make during the beginning parts of this. That's actually how you can extend all the way to the void, is with liquid dirt. Essentially, how you do that is you make the liquid dirt and the thing. Now the quest is going to consume the liquid dirt bucket, but before you do that, you basically pour it off the edge, let it flow to the bottom, and then you bucket it back up. And what that'll do is it'll stop it from flowing and create dirt all the way down to the void. And then you basically, and it's a 3 dirt because you're going to do it over a corner, so it's going to make like a 3 mark. And you essentially just go from there and build. Go all the way down and build your platforms and build it all the way up to the top. Make little stairs on the way. The other thing you can do is you can make elevators. That is a thing. It will be a little bit before you can get ender pearls though, but there are several ways of getting ender pearls, so that's generally not an issue. I will say be careful with mob farms though, because after a certain stage, you'll get a mob called Mutant Steve who can smash through stuff. So you definitely want to be on your toes with that. Building, building, building. And hopefully not dying. I think when I post this up, I'll probably have to edit the video eventually, but we can call this TWPI Hachi Streaming and Recording the Dark Ages. Back when Hotch was a complete and total recording noob. Odds are I'll still be a recording noob. Alright. So this will be our cobble platform of doom. Hopefully we don't vein mine it. Oh, let's see. How did I set this up? They need to be 1 space apart. So I'm gonna want probably 1 right there, 1 right there, and 1 right there. Set your whoppers. Set your whoppers right. Now, one thing I can look into doing is also automating. If I make more whoppers, I could automate adding in the filters, so we can just fill a chest full of filters and it will automatically add them. That is an idea. Because then if it's automatically adding them, yeah. I'm liking that thought. But to do that, we need more wood. Yeah, I think that may be very well what we end up doing. Because that would make it easier. You can give me a tree any day now. Yeah, I'm using the axe because I got impatient. All right. Doop. Let's see, will that be enough? Nope. So yeah, there's a very good chance that I'm going to do some editing on this one. Probably edit out all of the twerking. Nobody wants to see my butt shake. Except for maybe Ryan. Twerking, twerking, twerking. Alright, that is the end of our trusty X there. That's the other thing about the flint tools is, yeah, they're tinkers. You can't repair them. Oh, I'm gonna need 6 whoppers too. So we're gonna need a lot of wood. I need to automate this soon. What's the chisel require? It's not that one. Is it little tiles? That might be it. Although, you know what? I think it's actually done with the saw. That's right. Make sure I'm right. Does it continue working if it's like that? Yes, it does. Alright. Alright. Alright, let me see if I am remembering correctly on that. I think I am. We're gonna be able to do it early. Oh, not what I want. 2, 3. So getting 6 whoppers. Yeah, we're gonna need more. But we can get a couple started, so that's fine. So close yet so far. This should be enough for the last two. Alrighty. Now we just set this up like so. And then place the chests atop. And the reason I'm doing it like this and at this particular ratio is we're going to go through a lot of clay through this whole deal. But we're not going to use a whole lot of seeds. And a lot of people would think, oh, I need the to get the seed ones and such first. And the reality of that is no. We don't. Alright, so all that's left is getting 3 blocks of ice. Plop, plop, plop. And now that that's done, it gives us the efficiency meter. And if you looked at the efficiency, you notice that we have a bonus 10% because of how we set it up. So this is a pretty efficient setup. And we just go in here and check and see. We already got some dirt. And alternately, we can just go under. Got some sand, got some worms. This is going to be the fish chest, and in here we're already getting chili pepper seeds. We're probably already a ways in. So let's see what else we got to do. So we did all that. We need to get the kiln, and that's what the clay's for, because we're going to need a bunch of it. And we're going to actually make several of these. We're going to go through and grab and make 4. 4 kilns is usually what I go with. And the reason I only do 4 instead of a lot more than that is the kilns are going to be fully automated when it's said and done. So that's the reason for that. And now another thing we're going to want to make pretty quickly while we're here and waiting is a couple of these drying racks. Says it needs string. And we do get string from the water strainer. That's the other way to get string. So we can grow it. Don't see a way to craft it though. So I have to wait for cotton seeds. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to focus on moving this. And getting our next platform built. Goodbye, water. I just had a thought that I'm gonna need a nice long platform of dirt too. So I'm gonna make about 4 of these. And then we will be right back after I do that. So basically making these things is actually going to be fairly simple. And the reason being is the hunting platforms that's needed for this. Yes, it requires 2 on every side, but you can share the 2 between them, making it really, really easy to just kind of set this up, because you only need a little bit of dirt. Not a whole lot needed. Now this is probably common sense for some. Anyone who's used to PAMs, this is going to be common sense. But anyone else, yeah, that's basically the gist of it. Is you set up a platform like this with 4 or 5 of them, however many you want. I typically do 4, and then that is normally enough. Normally. The other thing I'm going to do is I am going to set up another platform over here. And this other platform is going to be for a future apple tree. We will also need to set up a pure daisy at some point throughout this thing, because this does have Botania in it, and you will be using Botania before you go to the overworld. Alright, go one more this way. Just for a little bit there. And we're going to go on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And space, double wall there. Now, the kilns, how they work is initially you're going to have to set up a fire and have the kilns up here with something in it to make it and turn it into an actual kiln. Usually the fire lasts just long enough to smelt one item. And that first item you're going to want to smelt is going to be a log, because you're going to want to turn it into low-grade charcoal. And once you make it into low-grade charcoal, you just place it underneath where the kiln was, light it on fire, and you have a permanent flame. And that permanent flame, once you have that set up, you don't have to refill it, you don't have to change it, you don't have to keep throwing logs underneath it. It's just perfect. And we're going to initially set up 4 fires. We're going to have the 4 fires under here. And we're going to have one more fire set up somewhere that will be used for burning things. Once we get to that point. Here in a second, we will check on, I guess we'll check on it now because I'm out of stuff. Let's see. Oh, I think we have enough clay. Yep. So we only need 4 kilns initially. In the quest book, it just basically congratulated us, and now it's time to make the low-grade charcoal and the fire sticks. So we got these. We're going to place them like so. Do I have any logs? No. So we will throw this dirt all but one back. Grab an oak sapling. Slap her down. And how are we doing this? Grass seeds, perfect. I need you right there. Pineapple, that is an OP thing. I may actually end up doing that. I need some torches for lighting too. Although normally I wait until I do the bees for torches, but a good thing about this, I don't need it to be cut the wood blanks. Alright, so how these fire things work. We're gonna throw a log in here. You have to have one in each hand, and you just right click the log. And it will start cooking. And because it has an item in it, shortly after you start the fire, this is going to turn red, meaning the kiln is completely cooked, and then it's going to start cooking the item. And we are going to need another one of these. Fire! Fire! No sapling, how rude. Making me actually have to go all the way over here and put forth effort. Alright, so we got that, and now we just need to light the last one. Alright, now it's all lit. Now this part may seem weird, but this is actually breaking this down in preparation for something else we're going to be doing, which is automating the kilns. Alright, so now it's going to have us start making the arcane ashes. Now that we have that. To do that. Do we not have enough XP to do it? I guess we don't have enough XP. Basically, you need a certain number of levels to be able to do that. We have not gotten a Lotus Seed yet to start getting XP. That's fine. We have, however, gotten 6 sugarcane. So now to work on the farm. Rip prismarine. Alright. Let's see. 6 logs, 2 planks. We'll make one of those real fast. remember how I said that I needed some of these for later? This is what it's for. We now have 5 torches. And I am going to set this back up here shortly, but working on a few things. I am curious though if it probably doesn't, but it would be nice if it did. Because I need to get some string to automate the paper stuff. Bam, beehive. But Hotch, why are you making a beehive? You don't have bees. Soon, my little grasshopper. We will soon. And the reason I want this in the middle is these apiaries exponentially increase the growth ticks. For anything that's out here. And initially, we're going to take 4 of these. And grow those. Tomato, lettuce, pineapple, chamomile. We are going to need chamomile. Now, Earth would be jumping all over me at this point, talking about how I need to be planting pineapple seeds OP. Hotch, you need to use pineapple seeds. What's wrong with you? Pineapple seeds aren't going to do any good in this pack. Doo-doo spice of life. So rip your pineapple seeds. What we are looking for, though, that's a grass seed. I'll take that. We do need those. The grass seed right there. Please grow. Is one, 2, 3, 4. So, one thing I don't remember is I wonder if AgriCraft is in this. I don't think it is. If it was, that would make this a bit easy. Okay, that should be enough for starting crops. And no, that's the apple seeds. Can I plant you right here? Yes. Tomato, lettuce, cucumber, chamomile, and chili pepper. Alright. So this is tomato, lettuce, cucumber, chili pepper, chamomile, and we'll throw 2 chili peppers right there. There we are. That right here is what we're waiting for. Because this, when it grows, will give us XP. More grass seeds. Thank you. Can I twerk to grow you? No? Okay, apparently it wants me to grow it in one of these. But I gotta watch this one because the last thing I want is a fucking apple tree spawning right here in my garden. And why aren't you? Oh, they are growing. Cool. Good there, we're good there. Let's take a look at the strainers. About 64. Cool. Alright, let's take a look what else we got. So, I need XP to do that, can't do that. Let's do the traps. After we get the water thing going. Let's do a quick temp setup for it. Just to temporarily get some wood. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I will like to remind you, it is not safe to stand on top of a powered saw blade. Growth 50%. Okay, so it's doing much better this time around. I wonder if I got the bee from one of the quests yet. Nope, not yet. Trying to remember which quest gives you the bee. Oh, no. Bee. Candleberry seed quest, okay. That defining moment. When the sugar cane comes from the strainer faster than it grows here. Yep. Yep. Well, in the meantime. Are there sticks in here? I see gravel. Don't see sticks. So I'll just grab a stack of sticks. And then grab a bunch of those. Throw them all in here. Ah, excellent. So now we can get the fish strainer going. And that will definitely speed things up. So, unlike the other strainer, well, we can just plop this one in here and it will go in there. These are what we'll really be doing, because that strainer doesn't go away. That strainer stays permanently. The fuel for this particular strainer is going to be these worms. And while this does light up the area, I don't believe it counts as full-on actual light. So we're just gonna do that. And hopefully our stuff will grow. Hopefully it'll grow. We already got some fish. Fish. Go down there. It's just a morsel. But it is our morsel. Now, what I'll end up having on this is, I think I'm actually going to get rid of this one, because I don't need that many. I'm only going to have so many of these ones, because I'm not really going to use them. What I'm going to be having is a lot of bait. A lot of wheat for bait. And I'll probably have up to here. These, truth be told, I actually don't want them anymore. So we are going to swap that out. And go from there. This I'm going to save for growing chamomile to make potions. We will go through a lot of potions. And that is what I was waiting on. And now that we have the apple sapling, we just plant it right there. Another lettuce seed. And now back to making the little traps that will produce food from animals that we can't even see, but they're there somehow because reasons. Because reasons. We'll blame it on plot. Plot. That is why. Plot. What I could do, since I am going to need a lot of stone, do that to get some XP. Alright. And again, I'm sorry for my voice being really low. Because like I said, it's pretty much shot. And I'm having to mute myself quite a bit so you don't hear me hacking up a lung. XP back there, cool. That will be used to make our first bait. Let's see. Crap. Chest that, okay. I only need 4 of these, so 1, 2, 3, 4. You do require hatches, but I don't need any more of that. It requires hatches. I am required. Earth is probably thinking, if he's watching this, hatch is never required. Except for when he breaks things. Alright. So we have made the ground trap. Now we need to catch a beef. Which we get through a very simple recipe. And I'll just put all 4 in that one for right now. Grassy, make grassio. String. Only need 2 more. There is the 4 for that. And you still haven't grown any. Kind of wonder if those only grow when there's the beehive, because those used to grow like crazy, but I had bees by then. Now I think about it. Grout, because we are gonna need a lot of grout. Now, I will say that there is no smeltery, and I'm gonna just straight up nip that in the bud right now. There is no smeltery. There is the porcelain melter, but you can use grout for some of the other things. Grout is used for this, but it's also used in making seared stone. You can make the bricks right there. Is it used in the drying rack? I don't remember. I don't remember what else the grout was used for. But long story short, you're going to need a few of these, and if you notice, it requires lava. And you may be wondering, how the heck do you get lava? Well, you're going to transmute stuff at some point. So we're going to grab ourselves, I'd say 2 stacks of gravel, stack of sand. And go to town. Oh, it wants clay blocks. Alright, so that makes the 2 stacks of that we're going to be using. And we'll throw this in here so we can make the porcelain later. We'll throw that right there. Save the sand and the gravel. You, I'll just put right there for now. Okay. Oh my god, it actually grew a little bit. Well, we caught a chicken. Gawk. What else can we work on while we're waiting on this? I need bone to work on the one thing. Still need beef drop. Not enough XP for that. Crying obsidian is water bucket. Okay, we're not there yet. Oh, we could make one. So let's make a few buckets. We are going to go through them like crazy. Yeah, clay shears is in here. Don't bother with it. Has less durability than flint shears. Save your clay. Alright, so I got some buckets stored for later. Wonder if it'll let me yet. It did. It did. Can I do one more? Nice. Alright, it's not letting me do anymore. Cool. Alright, we can move forward. Now, next we gotta make the arcane ashes, which is what you see here. It will require blackening bone meal. We're just gonna save that recipe right there, because we're gonna need a few things here. Now, ashes is basically hammering that. That's not a problem. Covalus dust. That's the other one we're going to want highlighted right now. So, I need you to grow, Mr. Tree. I need you to grow so I can kill you. Politely. Politely kill you. Yes. deforestation at its finest. Nothing is left in the world, and I keep chopping down the only trees. This is fine. Coffee seeds. That's an important seed. Rice seed actually is a very important seed. What am I going to use the coffee seeds for? I don't want the pumpkin right now, but I'll take the coffee. The coffee of the cucumber. I need more grain. Hey, look at all these seeds. Alright. I still need it to drop cotton seeds though, so we're waiting. And while we're waiting, make some low-grade charcoal. So what are we gonna do, Hachi? After we make this arcane dust, are we gonna progress the quest? Are we gonna like make liquid earth or crying obsidian? No, we're gonna make a builder's wand. That is what we're making. That is the most important thing. So that we can do all this building without having to do a thing. Now this gives you only 2 per chunk. It's the same as if you used it in the workbench over there. There's no difference. The reason I use it on that is because it doesn't use tool durability. It just makes more sense. We have our ashes. We're still waiting on the bone. Ask and you shall receive. Alright. Bone meal. Oh. You need a mortar. Well, time to make a mortar. Now, making a mortar, it always shows Durasteel with the Gregtech stuff, but basically... Oh, that's right, it's stone, not cobble. Herp. Basically, you can make it out of any material, you just follow the same recipe, and the only thing that changes is the type for the mortar itself. Usually it's always stone. Right there. So take this and the cobblest dust. Okay. Alright, that's still cooking. And this is about the time that I start getting into doing the multiple workbenches, because we are now going to start having liquids be in each of our workbenches. So we're going to be having more than one. And I need to get one of our buckets and ice. Now the reason I haven't bothered with the whole making infinite water source is water is only infinite in oceans and rivers unless, there's an unless here, you set up a device such as a aqueous accumulator. Aqueous accumulator will make, the thing. I need sugar. Oculus Accumulator will give you infinite water if you put it in a thing with, I think, 8 water sources all around it. What are you? Is it this? There we go. They are not shapeless. Keep that in mind. And we have our arcane dust. And there was great rejoicing. And the first thing on my list is this. So, couple of dust. A stick. Now, they have work in progress on this. They were going to do a whole bunch of custom things for this. I don't know if they still are, but at any rate, you know, the builder's wand, easy-ish building. So next is going to be the rubber tree. Now to make a rubber tree, we need a slime and a sapling. Rice slime is just basically rice, a little bit of water. Easy peasy. If the rice actually grew. Do I want to... Let me see. Probably a waste of bone meal, but we'll eventually get more, so it'll be okay. We will survive. We're gonna need to get a bunch of it via the one thing anyway. Alright, so I need a sapling. And this is where things are going to start getting interesting. So we got that. We're going to throw in one of you and this. And this is going to give us a rubber tree. And the rubber tree is freaking awesome because that's going to let us get the canterbury, which will let us get the bee, which will let us speed up our fracking crops. Plus, we can do other stuff with the resin and such and make things to automate that over there. Why does that always happen? They grow big in Hachiland. Alright, so we'll let that drop. Now, stone gears will be important. Tallow is covalence dust and sticky resin. I can't pick them up because I'm full. Throwing you in there. I don't need you right now. I don't need you. I don't need you. I will use you shortly. Don't need you. Alright. Now... tallow. Propolis, sticky resin. And then the tallow is used with canola seeds to make candleberry seed. Do I even have canola seed? I have one canola seed. One! Alright. So canola seed first, tallow, and okay. Alright. Canola seed, tallow. And we are actually going to go through a lot of this, which is why we're going to be actually automating. Now this is one of the things that I'm going to be making a lot of. We're going to have a full row of that. That's all said and done. And the most important thing about that is we get a bee that we can put in here. You might be asking, Hotch, why is that bee so freaking important? So like I said, they do increase the growth rate of all of these exponentially. And once this fills up, it will be just massive growth rate here. Now, I'm not just going to have one. I'm actually going to have 5, one at each corner. That will basically compound the boosting. Now, normally in my own gardens, I would not do that because they do cover a 4x4 area just with one. The main reason I do that on the starter island is just to speed up the growth, because you're going to need a lot of these seeds you can only get through one thing. You're going to need a lot of candleberries. You're going to need a lot of string. We're going to actually have cotton seeds here soon. You're going to need a lot of that. They're in here somewhere. In fact, I think this is them. Yes, we finally got them. Took forever to get, but we finally got them. And I'll take the rice seed too. So, voice going out. So yeah, now that we got this planted there, get the rice seed going here. Another lotus seed. We have our beef. So that completes it's a trap quest. It gives us some bone, which we'll use shortly. But I think I'm going to wrap it up here. This has been a long stream and recording. We didn't completely get through, but we got through about halfway. So I'm going to stop here, stop the recording, take a break, come back, and then the next thing we're going to do is going to work on looking into automating the kilns, automating the saw, and boosting the growth of the crops. So with that, have a wonderful evening.